If you're working a 9 to 5 and waiting for your salary to make you rich, you're going to be waiting forever. What I'm about to show you in this video completely destroyed everything I thought I knew about money. And once you see it, you'll never look at your paycheck the same way again. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why millions of hardworking people retire broke, and the specific steps you can take starting today to make sure that never happens to you. Let's start with a truth that nobody talks about at school, at work, or even at home. You were told, probably since childhood, that the formula for a good life is simple: study hard, get good grades, land a high-paying job, and everything will fall into place. Sounds reasonable, right? But here's where that story completely falls apart. Think about the people around you. Your colleagues, your neighbors, your relatives. Many of them have been working for 20, even 30 years. They have decent salaries. Some of them earn really good money. But ask yourself honestly, how many of them are actually financially free? How many of them could stop working tomorrow and still live comfortably for the rest of their lives? The answer, in most cases, is almost none. And that's not because they didn't work hard enough. It's not because they weren't smart enough. It's because they were playing a game that was never designed for them to win. A salary, no matter how big it is, has one fatal flaw that keeps you trapped, and that flaw is this: it stops the moment you stop working. Your income is directly tied to your time. And here's the brutal reality: you only have 24 hours in a day. There is a hard ceiling on how much you can ever earn by trading your time for money. No matter how many raises you get, no matter how many promotions you land, you will always hit that ceiling. Now here's where it gets even more dangerous. And this is the part that most people never realize until it's too late. As your salary grows, something else grows right along with it: your lifestyle. You get a raise, so you move into a bigger apartment. You get a promotion, so you buy a newer car. You start earning more, so you start spending more. Economists call this lifestyle inflation, and it is one of the most silent and deadly wealth killers that exists. Think about it this way. When you were a college student, you survived on very little. You had a small room, a cheap phone, basic food, and you were fine. But now you feel like you need so much more just to feel normal. That feeling isn't an accident. It's been carefully engineered by advertisers, by social media, and by a consumer culture that profits every single time you upgrade your lifestyle. Every time your income goes up, the world around you is designed to make sure your expenses go up even faster. And the result? People who earn $3,000 a month are broke. People who earn $10,000 a month are broke. People who earn $30,000 a month still broke. Because the number on your paycheck was never the real problem. The real problem is the system you're living inside. A system that is perfectly designed to take everything you earn and leave you with just enough to show up to work again on Monday morning. That's the rat race. And the first step to escaping it is simply understanding that you are in it. So if a salary can't make you rich, what actually does? This is the question that separates people who struggle financially their entire lives from people who build real, lasting wealth. And the answer comes down to one single concept that the wealthy have understood for generations, but that the school system, your employers, and honestly even your own parents probably never explained to you. That concept is this: passive income and assets. Let me break this down in the simplest way possible. There are two types of income in this world. The first type is called active income. This is the money you earn by showing up to your job, to your business, to your clients. You work, you get paid. You stop working, the money stops coming. This is where 95% of the population lives their entire financial life. Trading hours for dollars, days for paychecks, years for a salary, and never actually getting ahead. The second type of income is called passive income. And this is where everything changes. Passive income is money that comes to you whether you are working or not. Whether you are sleeping, traveling, spending time with your family, or sitting on a beach somewhere, the money keeps flowing. Now I know what some of you are thinking. That sounds too good to be true. Or, that's only for rich people. But here's what I need you to understand. Passive income is not a fantasy. It is a strategy, and it is a strategy that is completely available to you, no matter where you are starting from right now. The wealthy don't just earn money. They build systems and acquire assets that earn money for them. A salary makes you comfortable. Assets make you free. And that difference, right there, is the entire secret that changes everything. Now let's get very specific, because this is where most financial advice gets frustratingly vague. People tell you to invest and build assets, but nobody actually explains what that means in real, practical terms. So let me break it down for you clearly and simply right now. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket, consistently, repeatedly, and ideally without requiring your constant time and attention. That's it. That's the whole definition. If something is adding money to your life, it's an asset. If something is taking money out of your life, it's a liability. And the shocking truth is that most people spend their entire lives buying liabilities while thinking they are buying assets. Let me give you the most common example. Most people believe that their home is their biggest asset. They are proud of it. They talk about it. They feel financially secure because of it. But here's the hard question. Is your home actually putting money into your pocket every month? Or is it taking money out through mortgage payments, property taxes, maintenance costs, and utility bills? If it's taking money out, by definition, it is a liability, not an asset. Robert Kiyosaki explained this concept in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it completely shifted how millions of people think about money. So what are real assets? Real estate that generates rental income. Stocks and index funds that pay dividends and grow in value over time. A business that runs without your daily involvement. Digital products, online courses, or content that earns royalties. These are the things that work for you around the clock while you live your life. And the sooner you start building even one of these, the sooner your financial future begins to actually change. Now that you understand what assets are, let's talk about the most powerful and accessible asset that almost anyone can start building right now. Even if you don't have a lot of money, even if you don't have any special knowledge, and even if you've never invested a single dollar in your life. We are talking about investing in the stock market, specifically through index funds and compound interest. And before you click away thinking, this isn't for me, I need you to hear this part out completely, because what I'm about to share will genuinely change the way you think about money forever. Let's start with the most powerful force in personal finance, compound interest. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. And once you understand how it works, you will completely understand why. Compound interest means that your money earns returns, and then those returns earn returns on top of returns. It is growth that multiplies on itself over and over again, like a snowball rolling down a hill that gets bigger and faster the longer it rolls. Here is a real example to make this concrete. If you invest just $200 every single month starting at age 25, and your investments grow at an average annual return of 8%, which is actually below the historical average return of the S&P 500, by the time you reach age 65, you will have accumulated over $700,000. Not because you earn more, not because you got lucky, but simply because you started early, stayed consistent, and let time and compound interest do the heavy lifting for you. The tragic mistake that millions of people make is waiting. They say, I'll start investing when I earn more, or I'll start next year when things settle down. But every single year you wait is not just 1 year lost. It is years of compounding growth that you can never get back. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Here is a statistic that should completely change the way you think about how you earn money. According to research conducted by the IRS and multiple financial studies, the average millionaire has not one, not two, but at least 7 different streams of income. 7. Let that sink in for a moment. While most people are completely dependent on a single paycheck from a single employer, one source of income that can disappear overnight due to layoffs, company closures, or economic downturns. Wealthy people have built multiple rivers of money flowing into their lives simultaneously. And this is not a coincidence. This is not luck. This is a very deliberate and very strategic decision that financially successful people make early in their journey, because they understand something fundamental that most people never grasp. Relying on a single income stream is not just limiting, it is genuinely dangerous. Think about what happened during the COVID-19 pandemic. Millions of people lost their jobs overnight. Businesses shut down. Entire industries collapsed. And the people who suffered the most were those who had only one source of income. When that one stream dried up, they had absolutely nothing to fall back on. But the people who had multiple income streams, they were still receiving rental income from their properties. They were still earning dividends from their investments. They were still making money from their online businesses or digital products. Some of them actually grew their income during the pandemic because they had built systems that didn't depend on any single job or single employer. Now here is the important thing I want you to take away from this. You do not need to build 7 income streams overnight. That would be overwhelming and unrealistic. What you need to do is focus on building one additional income stream first, just one, alongside your current salary, because that single additional stream changes everything. It reduces your financial risk, it accelerates your wealth building, and most importantly, it begins to break your complete dependence on that single paycheck that currently controls your entire financial life. All right, so now you're convinced that multiple income streams are essential. But here comes the question that I know is sitting in your mind right now. Okay, but where do I actually start? Because let's be honest, most people hear advice like build passive income, and they nod their heads in agreement, but then they go home, sit on their couch, and do absolutely nothing, because nobody told them specifically and practically what to actually do. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now. Let's talk about real, actionable income streams that real people are building right now in today's world. The first and most accessible option for almost anyone is dividend investing. This is simply the process of buying shares in stable, well-established companies that pay their shareholders a portion of their profits on a regular basis, usually every 3 months. Companies like Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, and Procter & Gamble have been paying and consistently growing their dividends for decades. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to watch the market every day. You simply invest consistently, reinvest your dividends, and let the compounding process work its magic over time. The second income stream worth seriously considering is creating and selling digital products. We are living in the most incredible era in human history for this opportunity. You can create an ebook, an online course, a template, a preset, or a downloadable guide based on any skill or knowledge you already have, and sell it online to people all over the world, completely on autopilot, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even while you are sleeping. The initial work is done once, but the income it generates can continue for months and even years into the future. The third option, and one that has genuinely created more millionaires in the last decade than almost anything else, is real estate. Even if you cannot afford to buy a property outright, options like real estate investment trusts, commonly known as REITs, allow you to invest in real estate with very small amounts of money and earn regular income from it without ever becoming a landlord or dealing with tenants directly. Now we need to talk about something that is arguably more important than any strategy, any investment vehicle, or any income stream we have discussed so far. Because here is the truth that most financial channels will never tell you. You can know every single wealth-building strategy in the world, you can understand compound interest perfectly, you can know exactly which stocks to buy and which assets to build. But if your mindset around money is broken, none of it will work. Not a single bit of it. Because the biggest barrier between you and financial freedom is not your salary, it is not your circumstances, and it is not the economy. It is the way you think about money at the deepest level. Most people carry what psychologists and financial experts call a scarcity mindset. This is a deeply ingrained belief system that tells you there is never enough money, never enough opportunity, never enough time. People with a scarcity mindset hoard money out of fear instead of investing it wisely. They avoid taking calculated risks because they are terrified of losing what little they have. They see wealthy people and feel resentment instead of curiosity. They believe that financial success is reserved for lucky people, privileged people, or people who were simply born into the right family. And because they believe this so deeply and so completely, they never take the actions that would actually change their financial reality. Wealthy people, on the other hand, operate from what is called an abundance mindset. They genuinely believe that opportunities are everywhere and that money is something that can always be earned, grown, and multiplied. They see a financial setback not as a permanent disaster, but as a temporary lesson. They study people who are more successful than them with curiosity and respect, asking, "How did they do that, and how can I learn from it?" They understand that every dollar they invest today is a seed that will grow into something far greater tomorrow. And most importantly, they take action even when they are scared, even when they are uncertain, and even when the outcome is not guaranteed. The shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset is not something that happens overnight. It requires conscious effort, daily work, and consistent exposure to the right ideas and the right people. But it is the single most important internal change you can make, because your financial reality will always reflect your financial beliefs. Now let's get practical, because mindset without action is just motivation that fades away. And one of the most powerful actions you can take right now, starting today, not next month, not next year, is getting serious about how you manage the money you are already earning. And that starts with a budget. But not just any budget. A budget that is specifically designed to build wealth, not just track spending. The most effective budgeting framework for wealth building is called the 50/30/20 rule. Here's how it works. 50% of your income goes toward your needs: rent, food, transportation, utilities, and basic living expenses. 30% goes toward your wants: entertainment, dining out, travel, and the things that make life enjoyable. And the final 20%, and this is the non-negotiable part, goes directly toward wealth building. That means savings, investments, and assets. Now, 20% might sound difficult if you are living paycheck to paycheck right now, and I completely understand that. So start smaller. Start with 10%. Start with 5% if that is all you can manage. The exact number matters far less than the habit itself, because the discipline of consistently setting money aside and putting it to work is what separates people who build wealth from people who simply earn money and spend it. The secret is to pay yourself first. Before your bills, before your expenses, before anything else, move your investment amount automatically the moment your salary arrives. Make it invisible, make it automatic, and then live on what remains. We are almost at the finish line. But before we wrap everything up, I need to warn you about the most common and most devastating mistakes that people make on their journey toward financial freedom. Because knowing the right strategies is only half the battle. Avoiding the wrong moves is equally important. The first and most dangerous mistake is trying to impress people with money you don't actually have. Buying expensive clothes, driving luxury cars on finance, upgrading your phone every single year, all to maintain an image for people who honestly don't care about your financial situation as much as you think they do. This is lifestyle inflation on steroids, and it silently destroys more wealth potential than almost anything else. The second mistake is having zero emergency fund. Life is unpredictable. Medical emergencies happen. Cars break down. Jobs are lost. If you have no financial cushion, every single unexpected expense forces you into debt, and debt is the single greatest enemy of wealth building. Before you invest a single dollar, build at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a separate savings account that you never touch unless it is a genuine emergency. The third mistake is waiting for the perfect moment to start. There is no perfect moment. There will always be a reason to wait. The economy is uncertain. Your salary is too low, your expenses are too high. Successful people start before they feel ready. They start messy, they start small, but most importantly, they simply start. We have covered a lot of ground in this video. We talked about why your salary alone will never make you rich. We exposed the dangerous trap of lifestyle inflation and the rat race that most people never even realize they are stuck in. We broke down the real difference between assets and liabilities. We talked about compound interest, multiple income streams, the right budgeting framework, and the mindset shifts that separate people who build wealth from people who simply survive paycheck to paycheck. But I want to leave you with one final thought that I hope stays with you long after this video ends. Wealth is not about how much you earn. It is about how intentionally you live. Every single day, you make dozens of small financial decisions. What you buy, what you save, what you invest in, what you say no to. And each one of those decisions is either moving you closer to financial freedom or pulling you further away from it. Nobody is coming to save you. No employer, no government, no lottery ticket. The responsibility of building your financial future sits entirely in your own hands. And honestly, that is not a scary thing. That is the most empowering truth you will ever hear. Because it means that regardless of where you are starting from today, you have the ability to completely change your financial trajectory starting right now. So take one step today. Just one. Open an investment account. Cut one unnecessary expense. Read one book on personal finance. Because that one step, taken consistently over time, is exactly how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. If this video added value to your life, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. I will see you in the next one.